First quarter TFF released to Education Department. Jiwaka opens PHA office block. And Southern Highlands passes 2021 budget.
This is National EMTV News with Shamaine Poriambe.
Good evening and welcome. This is Friday's news. The first quarter of school fee subsidy for government schools throughout the country is expected to be deposited into individual schools' accounts as classes resume for the year 2021 next week. The first quarter of the money was presented today to the Education Department. Prime Minister James Marape presented a total of 123 million kina.
123 million kina was presented today to the Department of Education as the first quarter for school fee subsidy for 2021. A dummy check was presented by the Prime Minister James Marape to the Education Minister Jimmy Uguro and Education Secretary Dr. Yuki Kombra. The Prime Minister said this will relieve parents who are concerned their children will be turned away from schools. The 123 million kina is for the first quarter and will be deposited into individual schools' account as school starts next week. Marape said the second quarter should be paid before Term 1 ends. A total of 486 million kina has been budgeted for the school fee assistance. Parents are expected to pay 37% of the school fees. The Prime Minister said funds that were owed to schools last year will also be paid together this year.
When a school starts, we will be transferring it to all education institutions, high schools, most especially in primary schools and elementary schools nationwide, to ensure that parents are not paying any school fee upfront. Before the close of first term, we will ensure that the second quota is released. We will try our very best to ensure before June this year, full 486 million kina budget is released before June, July of this year, so that there's enough money right through because
While the government provides free education for TVET schools to assist students who have missed out on a space to do grades 9 and 11, Marape is also encouraging schools to accept students who have left school for personal reasons and now want to continue this year. Schools are told not to turn away students and that every child must be given an opportunity to be educated.
Health and HIV/AIDS Minister Jelta Wong says more focus will be on ensuring health facilities in the provinces and rural areas are adequately funded and receive the needed support. He said this yesterday in Jiwaka province during the opening of the Jiwaka Provincial Health Authority office block. Vasinata Yama with this report.
Minister Wong urged the Provincial Health Authority Board to communicate and have partnership with provincial and local level governments as well as church-run health agencies to deliver the National Health Plan 2021 to 2030. The plan looks at ensuring that PHA's plans and priorities are supported by the National Health Department. Minister Wong said a way forward is for the 22 PHAs to establish offices out of the hospitals so that other health facilities can be included in the health plan instead of concentrating at one major hospital.
Focus on health, too much now of COVID-19, but organ disease, TB am killing me blood. Diabetes am killing me blood. Cancer am killing me blood. Now government believe are building one of the big cancer facility in Port Moresby. You don't need to go overseas anymore.
Jiwaka Provincial Health Authority is the first PHA to establish its own office building, which saw the opening yesterday. However, challenges still remain. Kujib Nazarene General Hospital needs operational funding from the national budget. Many rural health facilities have been closed due to various reasons, and they have manpower shortages and are underfunded. Yesterday, the PHA handed over its plans and priorities. One is to build its provincial hospital.
Restore existing services and improve service delivery. This has been happening, and this is what we have been doing last year. Last year we missed our best Nala movement budget, Kuchip National Hospital budget, operation budget, not forthcoming.
Health Secretary Dr. Osborne Liko said the provincial governments and the district development authorities must support PHAs through their health grants and ensure the health service delivery to rural areas. Dr. Liko has taken into account JPHA's concerns and said they are no different to other PHAs but will take it at the national level.
It's the optional, will do the enabling legislation to have that as compulsory or have that as mandatory, so that health services plan we have that can be given the support it requires to reach the outcome that we expect.
The JPHA office complex was built at a cost of 3.75 million kina from the Jiwaka Provincial Services Improvement Program Fund. Governor Dr. William Tongam said the provincial government will continue to support health services in the province and encouraged everyone to support.
By 2030, health services not Jiwaka by staff Wanema. This lot Drimana Maskat.
Vasinata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
The Road Traffic Authority, or RTA, has launched its new uniform to signify its existence in the country. RTA takes over all the functions of the National Road Safety Council and the Land Transport Board. It administers the regulation, safety and use of land transport throughout the country and is working on improving the procedures of each function as road safety remains a big issue in Papua New Guinea.
Often, people confuse the role of Road Traffic Authority and Traffic Police when it comes to checking vehicles' registrations and driver's license. With the launch of their uniform today, it would add value to their work and make them stand out as the relevant authority for road traffic in the country.
That is basically to boost their morale. At the same time, they have some value in performing their duties. So this is one way of also the uniforms will also reflect the organization that we are working and what sort of functions that we are carrying out. At the moment, RTA is a regulator regulating road transport services in the country.
Apart from the many functions of RTA, there are 4 functions that stand out to be very important for the organization.
We are performing licensing of passenger and goods transport. We perform vehicle registration and driver licensing. We also perform motorcar dealers licensing and also authorized inspection station licensing in the country. These are very important functions within the transport sector, which RTA is mandated to perform.
The uniform will be issued to other centers to signify RTA's existence and its functions in the country.
Issuing the uniforms to other centers in the country like Rabaul, Ley and Mount Hagen. So that is a sign of our existence or our operations in the country.
Meanwhile, 4 new vehicles were also purchased by RTA to carry out their work in the city.
Yeah, we also bought some new fleets to support our staff to perform their duties. We are unable to purchase bigger cars or like 10-seaters and cruisers, but we managed to purchase those Toyota Arias, which will provide admin support for the officers to move around and do their job.
Alexis Sengi, National EMTV News.
The Works Department has adopted a new audit system. Works Secretary David Were says this system is to ensure funding for roadworks throughout the country is transparent. Were says taxpayers' money must be put to use and the department will be held accountable if funds are abused. The Works Secretary says a branch within the department will be in charge to audit all funding allocated for road contracts.
We will now be doing technical audits to see that the billions of kina we spent gives us the value for money and returns on those huge investments we're doing. So a division has now been created to ensure there is full audits been done on these big programs we are implementing throughout the country, both on the national roads as well as the provincial road network throughout the country. So we want to be responsive, become accountable to public funds to the government and to the people of Papua New Guinea. Now we are managing and utilizing the funds to deliver services to provide accessibility, road accessibility to the, greater Papua New Guineans.
Prime Minister James Marape has encouraged and welcomed Indian business investment in PNG. Speaking on the occasion of the 71st anniversary of the Republic Day of India at APEC House, Prime Minister Marape says PNG is fortunate to have bilateral relations with a superpower economy of the world.
Of India, as we all know,
In India, the head of government is usually invited to the Republic Day event annually for celebrations. So the Indian community in PNG decided to invite Prime Minister James Marape to celebrate the Indian Republic Day with them in the presence of the Indian High Commissioner to PNG. There was song and dance involving representatives from both PNG and India to color the night's celebrations. With India being one of the top economies in the world, particularly in the areas of agriculture and technology, Prime Minister James Marape said PNG is privileged to have strong ties with such a country.
India have more than 1.15 billion mobile connections with the cheapest rates in the world. I will not talk about information technology, as we all know that about the India's IT prowess.
Prominent people in the business and government arena of PNG, as well as from the Indian community in PNG, were present to witness and celebrate the grand occasion at APEC House. Among these was founding father of Papua New Guinea, Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare. Relations between India and Papua New Guinea were established when PNG gained independence from Australia in 1975. Ties between the two countries have been described by many to be cordial and close.
That we stand with you in this occasion to celebrate your 72nd year since you first put in those words to ensure India as a nation, the modern contemporary India, is what it is today. And we learn a lot from what is happening in the Indian experience. It's not easy running government, looking after 1.4 billion people. Indian government successfully continues to ensure democracy prevails in a nation of over 1 billion people for the last 72 years. Today, nation almost at 1.4 billion people. Papua New Guinea has a lot also to offer India.
Given that there is already Indian investment in PNG, either through private business or in terms of human resource over many years, the Marape government is welcoming India to be involved in downstream processing business in PNG. Dennis Orere, National EMTV News.
You're watching National EMTV News. More of the day's stories after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. The Lord Mayor of Lae City, James Kay, has announced plans to develop Lae City's Raunwara into a recreational area. The Raunwara is located opposite the Lae Showground. Much has been said about its tourism potential, yet nothing has been done by city authorities over the years. The announcement by the city's Lord Mayor to develop it into a recreational area is what Lae residents have always wanted. Mr. Kay says plans are already in place for work to commence soon. Part of this plan is to fence the area and put up lights.
Maybe I want outboard motor. We purchased and finished at last. Another 2 weeks time, but maybe I can pick him up. Maybe like all youths come now, cleaning the place, beautifying the place, planning good flower, planning DIY. Now working house wind long online can come now rest. Maybe like paint him up, put in light, now making the place one a good place. Long online outside you can now come, can rest now, stop now, picnic now, barbecue now, sit down good now, beyond go back to house because now.
The Southern Highlands provincial government has passed its 2021 provincial budget. Chair and Governor William Powie says the budget is a work in progress that supports key sectors like law and order, agriculture and SME. A budget appropriation of 270 million kina was passed this week in Mendi.
Members of the Southern Highlands Provincial Assembly met earlier this week to hand down its 2021 budget. Also present were the local MPs. A budget of 270 million kina was passed. Governor and Chair William Powie says priority areas remain the focus.
But we have policy. Important one is law and order and empowering. That's what I'm prioritizing in 2021. When you have good policy, good law and order, and when you empower the little man to start the place now walk business, I think our province in terms of leadership now another priorities make up long we can effectively transform this province. And
the law and justice sector has been the focus of the Southern Highlands provincial government since 2017. Millions have been allocated to complete housing for judges, police and other law and order sector. Governor Powie says this will only see other developments come to fruition.
So alongside law and order, we put him on 1 million long police mobility and police support, not 1 million long police recruitment and empowerment inside the provincial government budget. Me also put him additional 3 million to complete. It may be more, but we put additional 3 million to complete this courthouse complex.
2/3 of the Southern Highlands budget is also focused in the education and health sector. Meanwhile, the Assembly Chair says the 2021 budget will be a continuation from the 2020 budget. Powie says this is to maintain funding so projects are completed.
We can take note of the 2020 budget approval and implementation of what has been appropriated. Now, endorse him. So, Administrator and Treasurer, I can move to Assembly for Assembly to take note and endorse. Yeah, this is our official record, so one can update him now. Forward him to as per section 119 of the organic law where provincial governments are supposed to report to intergovernmental relations. So comply with this law, seeking endorsement law, assembly approving this law so that administrator and treasurer can submit him report law 2020 to the national government.
Also, during the assembly meeting, a few new assembly members were sworn in. Jack Power Jr., National EMTV News.
An old aid post at Kausada in the Injivitari district of Northern Province has been refurbished at a cost of 50,000 kina to serve people in the area. Injivitari MP Richard Masere challenged people to respect the facility. The project was implemented as part of a 2 million kina funding that was received by the Injivitari District Development Authority through Log Export Development Levy funds.
Since its establishment in 1983, Kausada Aid Post was never renovated until this DDA project was implemented. The refurbishment of the aid post was done by a local contractor as Zero Support Services.
But the most important thing is that you had a rundown facility that is not fit to be used by patients and yourself as a health worker. So we have provided you the avenue now through the LEDL funds to facilitate renovation across Injivitari district, and we have given priority to the ones closest to us to complete so that you are satisfied before we move out.
After the Injivitari DDA received a 2 million kina funding through the Log Export Development Levy Fund, it was decided that the funds will be used to refurbish all aid posts and health centers in the district. Speaking at the opening of the refurbished aid post at Kausada, MP Masere urged the people to look after the facility so it can be maintained for at least 20 to 30 years.
My challenge to the community, please look after these things. Give it another 20 years, 30 years before you may renovate it because you look out him. Me like encouraging you young people, When you are consuming alcohol, when you are consuming homebrew, you like fight, you fight. But no can touch him this or something.
Built at a cost of 50,000 kina, the aid post is expected to serve up to 8 villages in the area. MP Masere assured the people during the opening ceremony that funding would be allocated to also supply drugs for the aid post for people to access when needed.
Today, one important day, blo Kausada. This la nuclear refurbished aid post and by landmark inside lo Kausada. Plenty time also stop lo heavy or picking in isakisim sick. Papa yutu isakisim sick. That's all aid post and bagrap. Plenty time yimisa golo poponeta we plenty blo yimisa kisim bagrap na come back.
The next health facility to be refurbished in Ijivitari district will be the Wanigela Health Center in Tufi LLG. Relevant project teams will travel there to do the scope of work next week, with the refurbishment of the health center to be carried out soon after. Dennis Orere, National EMTV News.
69 new lawyers from the Legal Training Institute were admitted to the bar today. It is a time of celebration after so much hard work and sacrifice. Among the attendants were proud families and friends.
A total of 69 new lawyers from the Legal Training Institute were admitted to the National and Supreme Court this morning in a ceremonial sitting. The Supreme Court awarded Judge Kult and other new lawyers expressed how tough it was with the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic last year, and they made it through by putting God first and hard work.
I'd say it's all about hard work. And just have wishful thinking. You have to put in the hours, you have to stay up if it requires, you have to stay up late all night or wake up early every morning doing the little extra 10% that the other people don't put in, or it's basically just that, you know, the saying is a bit cliche, but it's all about the hard work.
We are only servants of the court, and we must always be fair and bring justice to the country and to our important job.
Among attendees were parents of Anthony Karahure, who traveled in from Ley to witness their son's admittance to the bar. Like many parents, it was a proud moment for both of them to see that both their hard work and that of their son had paid off, and this brought smiles to their faces.
A long journey, and he's the last born in a family, and he has come this far, and he's the first one to be the lawyer in the family. And we are proud of his achievement.
While PNG is fighting against law and order issues, it is always a solace to see new lawyers coming in to help with the fight against the bigger monster, crime. Gertrude Gabi, National EMTV News.
A renowned gospel singer from the Northern Province is the latest of musicians who passed away this month. Late Pastor Daniel Meakoro was one of the frontmen in gospel band Voice in the Wind. Bradley Valenaki with more.
The news broke last night on social media of the passing of the late Pastor Daniel Meakoro. While information relating to his death has not yet been released public by his close family and relatives, condolence messages continue to pour in on Facebook. Known throughout PNG as one of the voices in the band Voice in the Wind, the 52-year-old's music through the Christian faith lives on. In an early story from this network recorded 7 years ago, he speaks of his passion in music.
I still feel like when I picked it up when I was 13 years old, and that innocent, pursuit, and you just couldn't stop it. You're banging until mom's jumping up and down in the kitchen. Mom's angry and telling you to stop making noise, and you go downstairs and you're still doing it. So dad is getting cross downstairs or something, and then everybody's gone. Now you're irritating the neighbor. So that is not coming back.
The late Pastor Danny wasn't alone on the road to producing some of the best gospel tunes that still tickles the ears of today. Colleague pastor Peter Bogembo was his comrade before starting P2UIF. The journey of the Voice in the Wind started in 1988 before the first recording of an album with Kalang Studio the following year.
We have humble beginnings and stories of how we started. And now at this stage, now, our influence has gone through other younger aspiring musicians.
During that era, the band was amongst the finest of gospel musicians, gracing the airwaves alongside other notable gospel band Higher Vision. Songs from Voice in the Wind produced some of the authentic gospel music played by its band members. Later on, singing with Covenant Praise, Gone from this world, the Northern Gentleman, now only a voice in the wind after 3 decades of commitment to gospel music. Bradley Valenaki, National EMTV News.
And now looking at the Nest Fund market report, the Kina closed unchanged at $0.2850 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, the Kina is buying $0.2775, $0.3574 Australian dollars, $0.2209 euro, and 28.21 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading lower, coffee and copper closed higher, cocoa closed lower, palm oil closed lower, crude oil is trading lower, and copper closed higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 633.87 points lower. The ASX 200 is trading at 130.86 points lower, and the All Ordinaries is trading at 142.56 points lower. Trukai Sports is next. Details after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. Digicel Cup winner Charlie Simon has high hopes for the 2021 Interest Super Cup season as the Lace Next Tigers 5'8" aims to be one of the starting halves for the SPPNG Hunters. A consistent performer in the domestic competition, Simon is eager to prove that he can make the step up in his career with the Hunters.
The ever-reliable Lace Next Tigers 5'8", Charlie Simon, wants to stamp his mark for the SPPNG Hunters in the 2021 Intrust Super Cup season. The 28-year-old, who hails from the Eastern Highlands province, has been a member of the Hunter squad for the past 3 years, making his debut back in 2018. Facing stiff competition from the Boers brothers, Ase and Watson, Simon has not been able to make the halves position his own, making 33 appearances and scoring 7 tries since 2018.
Player 2018 lo comeback, tim pa mix game to mas lo side plantas we plantiol senior mangi bin stop as Watson lo side lo half position so. Me come inside, me come inside coach Mike's been like me lo come precision. We can give best me lo precision and been calling me off lo final squad lo make it stand them under squad so. Me start to lo give best me lo training pro me right lo stand lo team. One day pa mix opportunity laga so. Me work hard one day mo senior mangi si sample advice lo. We go maybe si sample game lo 2018. So at least we stand them all to mix sample. Idea we tindin balls play them to ask you questions to give me some good feedback. Me work until this go me game them improve na. Thank you.
Simon, however, did not let these setbacks discourage him, as he and his Tigers team went on to dominate the Digicel Cup competition in the past couple of years, winning the Premiership title in 2016, 2017 and 2019. Leading the charge, Simon has clearly been one of the most consistent performers in the domestic competition. Hunters coach Matthew Church has recognized this and has included Simon in the 29-member squad. His experience and professionalism will be another invaluable addition to the team.
We've been talking about go back and one respective club at least keeping me play fit now. Build on only something that Lucy Lamson. Logo plenty boys to all. One guy no see me to play the team don't stop. Give challenge to me play go on the Digicel Cup. Prove me play right to making squad game this year so. Yeah, me play fight hard, give best to me play bringing team them go forward Through lo at work lo put in lem reward come na come back again. Through lo talk advice probably give me lem push me through come na. We been come experience la goal me big plan master this last one. Thank you go back again to service style of about me come no career blue. Big plan thank you go back lo family lo me plus. This is blue one them. Thank you.
Haksi Lovai, Chukai Sports.
The Papua New Guinea High Performance Sport Office is moving back to the Taurama Aquatic Centre in the nation's capital. This comes after an announcement of the centre's reopening set for the 1st of February 2021. The High Performance Office has been operating from the Sir John Guy's indoor complex since July of 2020 when a spike in COVID-19 cases sprung across Port Moresby and the TAIC was set up by the NCDPHA as an isolation facility. In line with the date of opening of the Taurama Aquatic Indoor Centre, the High Performance Gym and SM clinics will also commence starting next week. And that story wraps up Trukai Sports, the weather report after this break.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
Weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow. In the southern region, Port Moresby cloudy with occasional rain drizzles. Daru partly cloudy with a shower or two. Kerama a few rain showers or drizzles and cloudy. Alotau occasional rain showers and thunderstorms at times. And Popondetta rain showers and thunderstorms easing.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
And that's the news, sports and weather for Friday, the 29th of January 2021. Pleasant viewing. Be safe. Bye for now.